Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Andy Cohen shouts. Out Bronwyn Newport for owning things on Real Housewives. Bronwyn Newport is getting propped out not for her bling, but for her honesty. During a recent appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen on September 23rd, Bronwyn opened up about her controversial $4 million diamond necklace, the same one she claimed was a gift from her husband, Todd Bradley, for their 10th anniversary. As it turns out, the 170-carat Norman Silverman piece was never hers to begin with. Host Andy Cohen didn't shy away from addressing the elephant, or rather, the diamonds, in the room. But instead of criticism, he offered commendation. I loved what you said about that. I thought it was really great. I thought you totally owned it, Andy told Bronwyn. We rarely hear someone saying, you know what? I was trying to look cool. Much props for that. Bronwyn's response was disarmingly honest. I do want to look cool. Who doesn't? Yeah. Even fellow guest Madeleine Petsch, known for her role on Riverdale, applauded Bronwyn's candor. I am all for people coming forward after lying. I think that's wonderful. Truly, she said. But Bronwyn's story isn't just about a necklace. It's also about the dynamics of her marriage and public image. When asked whether she and Todd discussed the over-the-top gift beforehand, she admitted, Todd and I did have a conversation. Todd was just not a big fan of how ostentatious that necklace looked. That's not Todd's style. And while the dazzling Norman Silverman piece didn't make it home, Bronwyn clarified that Todd still came through for their milestone. I actually did get a very similar necklace. Just not from the PR person who worked for that jeweler. The necklace drama originally unfolded during Season 5 of RHOSLC, where castmates openly questioned the legitimacy of the jaw-dropping accessory. Things reached a boiling point during the reunion, with Lisa Barlow alleging insider knowledge that Bronwyn never owned the piece. Fast forward to Season 6, and tensions still linger. After Bronwyn dropped a bombshell about Lisa's alleged legal troubles during an RV camping trip, Heather Gay wasn't buying the timing. In her words, Bronwyn was simply caught red-handed lying about a $4 million necklace that she didn't own. Bronwyn didn't dodge accountability when asked about her motivations in a confessional. Instead, she came clean to producers. I knew I wasn't going to buy this necklace, but I made the girls believe that I had it by saying when I wear it, you'll see it, thinking that I would get a different version and they wouldn't notice the difference. That is, in effect, lying. And that's wrong. She even went deeper into self-reflection. How did that become more important to me than my integrity, or the importance of Todd and I's anniversary, or being tough enough to not give a damn what everyone else thinks? Like, I really acted so immature in that moment. To be cool. In a franchise known for glam, drama, and over-the-top lifestyles. Bronwyn's confession stands out as a refreshing moment of humility. Whether you're Team Truth or Team Bling, one thing's for sure. Being real is always in style. Andy Cohen, the maestro behind Bravo's glittering empire of champagne-fueled drama, knows when a housewife delivers a moment that leaves viewers buzzing. For years, fans have come to expect the unexpected from the Real Housewives franchise catfights, luxury, feuds, and the occasional reconciliation. But every so often, cast member rises above the noise and owns their truth so unapologetically that even the king of Bravo himself takes notice. This week, that crown went to Bronwyn Windenberg, whom Cohen playfully dubbed Bronwyn Newport during a cheeky Watch What Happens Live segment, giving her a full-throated shout-out for owning things like few housewives before her. The moment came during a lively after-show discussion where Cohen was fielding fan questions. One viewer wanted to know which current or former housewife had impressed him most recently with her ability to take accountability. Without hesitation, Andy leaned forward in his chair, his eyes lighting up with that mischievous sparkle fans know so well. You know who really deserves a lot of credit? Bronwyn. Or as I call her today, Bronwyn Newport. He laughed. She owned it. She didn't just kind of admit something. She owned it in a way that makes this franchise what it is immediately. Social media lit up like fireworks on the 4th of July. Clips of Andy's shout-out flooded timelines. Fans dissected what exactly he meant was it Bronwyn's candidness about her struggles with sobriety, her willingness to show the cracks in her seemingly perfect Newport Beach life, or her openness about her personal identity journey, which made waves when it first aired. Regardless of which chapter he was referencing, viewers agreed Bronwyn had never shied away from putting her raw, real life on camera, and in doing so, she cemented herself as one of the most vulnerable and polarizing housewives in Bravo history. Bronwyn's story has always been more layered than her designer wardrobe and sparkling Newport Beach home would suggest. From the moment she joined the Real Housewives of Orange County, she distinguished herself with brutal honesty. Whether it was confessing her battles with alcohol, peeling back the curtain on her marriage struggles, or sharing the deeply personal journey of coming out, Bronwyn's ability to bear it all even when it wasn't glamorous was something viewers could feel in their bones. Unlike many housewives who dodge accountability with carefully rehearsed excuses or misdirected drama, Bronwyn took Andy's favorite mantra, own it, and ran with it. People underestimate how hard it is to admit the things Bronwyn admitted on camera. Cohen elaborated later in the segment. It's easy to throw shade at a castmate. It's harder to say, this is who I am, and this is the truth, even if it makes me look flawed. That's brave. That's powerful. That's what this platform is for. Those words struck a chord. Because if there's one thing Housewives fans appreciate, it's authenticity amid the diamonds and designer handbags. And Bronwyn gave them exactly that. She reminded viewers that behind the privilege and oceanfront mansions, real life still happens. Messy, complicated, and sometimes heartbreaking. She wasn't afraid to show the world that even a woman surrounded by glitz and glamour can struggle with demons that no amount of wealth can fix. For many, Andy's praise was long overdue. After all, Bronwyn's arc had been one of the most talked about in her franchise's history. Her decision to get sober played out raw and unfiltered on screen. Viewers watched as she confronted not only her addiction, but also the ripple effects it had on her family. Then came the headline-making revelation of her sexuality, which she handled with grace and candor. While some castmates weren't as supportive or even accused her of attention-seeking, Bronwyn didn't waver. She lived her truth, and in doing so, she gave fans representation and a storyline that felt deeply human. Of course, not everyone was thrilled with Andy's shout-out. Housewives Twitter, never a monolith, exploded into debate. Some praised Cohen for recognizing Bronwyn's courage and authenticity, calling her a trailblazer. Others rolled their eyes, arguing that her openness often came hand in hand with attention-grabbing theatrics. Owning it is one thing, one fan tweeted, but does Andy forget all the times Bronwyn deflected blame onto other people? Still, even critics couldn't deny the impact she had on the franchise. Whether you loved her or loathed her, she made people feel something in. That's the Bravo formula at its finest. The Newport Beach star herself responded on Instagram with a cheeky post. "Thank you, Andy, for seeing me." She wrote under a photo of herself in a bright orange dress. A playful nod to the rock orange. "It hasn't always been easy to own my story, but it's been worth it." To everyone still finding their voice, don't be afraid to own it within minutes. The post was flooded with supportive comments from fans and even a few fellow housewives, who gave Bronwyn virtual high fives for being brave enough to put her most vulnerable moments in the public eye. In many ways, Andy's shout-out felt like a reminder of what makes the Real Housewives more than just a reality TV guilty pleasure. Yes, the screaming matches, designer labels, and jaw-dropping vacations are part of the fun. But what keeps people tuning in year after year is the rare unscripted humanity that shines through the chaos. When a housewife drops the facade and lets the audience into her real struggles, it creates a connection that lingers long after the credits roll. Bronwyn's willingness to own things wasn't just about personal confessions. It set a precedent in a franchise where deflection and denial are often the weapons of choice. In that sense, she paved the way for future housewives to step into their truth, whether it's about relationships, health, identity, or personal growth. Andy Cohen, ever the ringleader, recognized the importance of that contribution. And by publicly acknowledging it, he gave Bronwyn her flowers.